Federico Federico has entered the portal. So where will Texas Tech pivot to? In today's video, we'll discuss the latest big target for Texas Tech and why it's going to sound very similar to Federico's skill set. We'll also discuss maybe some of the possibilities that Federico went into the portal and why it kind of makes sense from his perspective. That and much more in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Happy Easter Sunday to all those that are celebrating today. I hope that you have a great Easter Sunday with you and your family. Celebrate responsibly, obviously, and just have some good old-fashioned fun with the fam. All right, let's jump into this because, as you know, I just mentioned it in the open as well. Federiko Federico is entering the transfer portal. This really shouldn't come as a surprise. And the reason being, most notably, and well, before I get into that, 6'11 senior, he has 1 year of eligibility remaining due to the JUCO rule. So he'll have 1 year left, wants to create leverage, right? He averaged 5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and he began his, career at Pitt. The reason being that I don't think this is too surprising is when you go look at the current state of bigs in the portal, there's not very many left. And so from a leverage standpoint, specifically for Fede, where it's his last year of college basketball, odds are he is going to make more money this year in terms of his final college year than maybe any other year of his life in terms of professional aspect, whether it's on the court or off of it. Yeah, you're going to try and capitalize. Now, is that unfortunate for Texas Tech? Sure. But at the end of the day, this is a business. I know some of y'all don't like that. I'm just telling you the truth and how it is, right? It is a business. These guys are going to create leverage for themselves, and he is going to ask for a ton of money, and maybe just Texas Tech isn't willing to go to that number because there will be a guy that we discuss here in just a second that I think fits the mold of Fede and probably is a lot cheaper, okay, in terms of the NIL aspect of it. From Fede's standpoint, though, I don't blame him at all. You got to do what you got to do, especially in this market. There's not very many bigs, and just point blank period, there's not many guys that are 6'11 and eligible to play college basketball and have proven that they're a pretty darn good player, right? Some of y'all will disagree on the Fede's a pretty darn good player. I'm sorry, you don't know ball. He was great in his role, period. End of story, right? Not every center is a superstar. But it's not ideal for Texas Tech. But as the Red Raiders have shown to do, they go out and, as always, it seems, they always have a backup plan ready. And this is the one you need to monitor right now. This from 247 High School Sports News, VCU big man. Luke, I'll give you a second to think of how you would pronounce that. Okay. Bamgboye, the G is silent. There you go. Is entering the transfer portal. He is a former 4-star recruit, is Bamgboye. He played 1 season for Ryan Odom at VCU, and he is a native of London, England. As you can see, his stats right there, averaged 3.8 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game last year for the Rams. Point blank period, those stats don't wow you, but give me a second, and I probably can wow you or get you excited about Luke Bamgboye. Now, we'll go ahead and put all of his stats on the screen for you right now. You can see him right there. Again, not going to wow you with that kind of stuff, but let me run through some things. This is the Fede type replacement, though. He's 6'10", 200 pounds, uber athletic, can guard down low, but also isn't afraid to go out and be an impact defender on the perimeter if needed in switches. But again, 3.8 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 2.1 blocks in 17 minutes. People, that is ludicrous. I'm talking prime ludicrous, early 2000s type stuff. Holy crap, that's crazy. He played 16.8 minutes per game to be exact. You can see it on your screen right there. 87% of his field goal attempts, came at the rim, shot 60%. You can see it there. He has a solid touch. That was the thing that stood out more in terms of watching him play compared to Fede. Fede, love what he did. He was a lob threat, but you did not want him trying to even float the ball up there. It was a dunk or a layup, period. With Bamgboye, you feel good about him having a little bit more touch, and he can do a little bit of a hook here and there to really help impact his stats and really impact the game. Now, you look at this, in my opinion, he has a true chance to be an impact anchor of a defense. I already mentioned the 2.1 blocks per game, right? That's in 17 minutes. That's insane. He has a 14.9% block rate, people. That is, again, prime ludicrous, early 2000s, move, you know what, get out the way type stuff. But he's saying it to the basketball. He has excellent feet and agility for a big man, and he can guard out on the perimeter and switches, as I mentioned. The reason he can do that, not only because of his footwork, but because he's long and athletic. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He understands leverage really well. He understands backing down in terms of the defensive side of things and where his most impact is at. And he has a quick second bounce. That's something vastly different from Fede, in my opinion. Offensively, I hope you like offensive rebounds as I get back on the screen here. This guy is an elite offensive rebounder as a true freshman there at VCU. Boye had 10.3% offensive rebounding rate. That is wild as a true freshman. 10.3%. Insane type stuff. He is seemingly always in a good spot. He boxes out really well. Is he the biggest guy in terms of weight? No, he's not. And we'll get to that point here in a second. But he's a really good cutter, 82nd percentile. The thing that stood out to me in terms of his offensive game that kind of shocked me, because on tape it looked like he was pretty solid. The metrics don't agree, though. He did not grade out well as a roll man in the pick and roll, ranked out in the 30th percentile. Okay? I think that can improve personally. I think that if he were to come to Texas Tech, he could get in that 50 to 60 range, and that would be more than serviceable with the other attributes and skill sets in his toolbox that he would present wearing the scarlet and black. Right now, obviously, we're far away from knowing exactly where he is on his recruitment. And the funny thing is he's been in the portal for a while, right? You think about it, Ryan Odom has basically been linked to Virginia, where he is now the head coach, since February. So he left VCU to go to Virginia. He's the coach there. You would think Bamgboye would be there with him, right, at this point. That's not the case. Maybe he does end up at Virginia, but he hasn't yet. Texas Tech has reached out. It seems like he is a priority for them in the portal. And in my opinion, this is your potential Fede replacement. And I think, again, Fede, I think, was really good in his role. Some people didn't like him. It's fine. I understood it. But he was good in his role. Bamgboye would play in a very similar role. He is younger, so there will be potential, learning pains. Let's say learning pains. I think that that's the nicest way to say it. But if he were to commit to Texas Tech, he would fit into the Fede role seamlessly. And I think he would be better in some regards, most notably from a scoring aspect of it. He doesn't hesitate as much. He's aggressive. He actually goes up and doesn't bring the ball down. He goes straight up, right? That was something that was infuriating with Fede, in my opinion. But Bamgboye doesn't do that, and he is a guy that really understands his skill set. And if you look at what Grant McCasland wants in terms of a center, here's the blueprint, right? Like, some people may not like it. Some people may want a DJ Burns or whatever it is. This is the type of center Grant McCasland and crew want to have on their roster. And Bamgboye, if he added 10 to 20 pounds, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibilities, he's 19 years old. Right? Like, I think he gets another year in a college weight program. You would assume that maybe I wouldn't assume and say maybe. It is a fact that Texas Tech has a better weight program than VCU, right? I think there's potential for Bamgboye where he could be one of the better defensive-minded lob threats in the Big 12 if he were to commit to Texas Tech, because he hasn't played with talent like Christian Anderson. He hasn't played with talent like JT Toppin. He hasn't played with talent like Lawan Watts, right? Like, there's multiple guys that would easily be some of the best players he's ever played with. And he would be asked to do nothing except play hard, set good screens, rebound, and block shots. That's it, right? And he would be perfect and fit seamlessly into that Fede role for Texas Tech. And he is definitely a guy to monitor in the portal. Again, his name is Luke Bamgboye. I'll put it on your screen one more time for you guys so you can see him. There he is right there. And yes, the G is silent, just like Lil Wayne taught us in lasagna. Okay? There you go. A lot of hip-hop references in today's video. I really wasn't planning on doing that. I got Ludacris in the early 2000s, Lil Wayne with the silent G and Bamgboye. Man, call me Spotify out here. Real talk. But that's the guy you should monitor in the front court as it stands right now for Texas Tech. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell for 100% free Texas Tech videos all year long, whether it's on the hardwood, the gridiron, or in the portal. We've got you covered. Again, largest Texas Tech community, most interactive on YouTube. Can't beat it. It's 100% free, like I said. And before we head out of here, one more time, happy Easter to everybody out there. Hope you have a safe holiday with your family. Enjoy it. And as always, like I said, stay safe and Rec 'em Tech.